All right. Welcome once again to another episode of Sports Therapy with FH Jr. I am your host. This is another wild and woolly episode. A little bit about the show. This is a show where callers will have 2 minutes to rip, rant, and kick some knowledge about all things NFL related. Now, let me go over the rules for the rule breakers. Sports therapy is entertainment and entertainment only. We are all about nothing but fun and yucks. We do not give medical advice, but we do give advice because advice is free. Please keep in mind that on the show, all are welcome. We don't talk politics. We don't talk racial relations. We don't talk sexual orientation because all are welcome. But keep in mind, I don't give a fat rat's ass what the Republicans are thinking, nor do I care what the Democrats are thinking. Sports therapy and our sponsor is always Crown Royal. Now, I think I got that out the way. Oh, forgot something. I'm always rocking the cool beard as I'm doing. But I'm coming to you today. I'm going old school because we have to have some old school conversation. Yes, we got to have some old school conversation. So I'm decked out in my old school traditional Redskin jersey, as you can see, followed by the augmented with my old school Redskin hat. I'm going to be honest, this hat is so old, you can't even find it. You can't find them nowhere. Trust me. You won't find this hat on eBay. It's suede and it's just old school. But I'm rocking the 46. 46. Yes, I am rocking the 46. But on today's show, we are going to take a look back at this week and the preseason. You guys know how I feel about preseason. I think, you guys know how I feel about preseason. But we are going to dive into a question that I'm going to ask all my callers. If you call, and once again, let me tell you, if you want to be a live guest on the show, then the number you need to call is 940-329-4110. That is 940-329-4110. And that'll get you right into my bunker. I'm always in my bunker. Now, all are welcome. We don't fan shame. Your team is your team. Now, you can wear a bag over your head when you call in, but that's on you. But we will not fan shame. No. We may laugh with you, but never at you. So, the question we're going to ask today are based on a topic that was being shared this week. And I'm not going to lie, it was centered around my Commanders. But it's not just my Commanders. I think we're talking about old school versus new school in terms of football players. So are today's players, yes, they're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster, but are they softer? Are they softer? Are the players bigger, stronger, or faster? Or are they soft? Are they no longer made like Rocky Road ice cream? Or are they made like vanilla? Are they vanilla ice cream? Not just vanilla. They're not French vanilla, old-fashioned vanilla, just soft. Or are they just a product of change? Because players are bigger, stronger, and faster. And they get paid a hell of a lot more money. Just saying. But we're going to talk about the preseason. Did your team, in other words, were you impressed by your team? Because this is what I tell people when it comes to the preseason. I truly believe that you cannot read anything into the preseason. What I find is that with preseason, I got teams that are trying to get ready to play. And I got teams who are trying to make sure that nobody gets hurt. That's how I see it. That's how I see the preseason. I did get a chance to, I got into it a little bit. Now, I'll be honest, I can't speak for anybody else. I can only speak for me. When it comes to the preseason, man, I just stick around for the first quarter. Because the first quarter is going to tell me all that I need to know. Because what I'm going to see some teams that really need to get something together. For example, let's talk about the Saints because I watched the Saints, and I'm sure my One of my callers, Jay in Grand Prairie, gonna call because she's probably right down the street. But when I think about the Saints, I was impressed with the Saints. But Saints got to get something together. Remember, they got they made some changes. Got a new quarterback in there. Gone is the red rifle. So now they got a brand new car. What happens when you just don't go buy a brand new car, man? You got to test drive that bad boy. You know what I'm saying? You got to recline back. You got to do like the old school. You know, get you a digging scene with a gangster lean, gangster white walls, TV antenna in the back. I'm predating myself, I know. But that's how you got to roll if you got a brand new car. Because you may not drive a great big Cadillac, gangster white walls, TV antenna in the back. Or you may not have a car at all. But just remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. That's an old school song. Grooving with your baby, grooving. I'm just grooving. Because football is back. Football's back. Don't let nobody tell you football's not back. Yes. Now, my Commanders, I watched. I like what I saw. But at the end of the day, it's preseason. I can't get too high on the highs, and I can't get too low on the lows because it is preseason. Preseason. Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr.
Hello?
Hey, Jay. What say ye, Jay?
What's up?
Are you getting into preseason, Jay?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I bet you I know what team you watched.
Who that?
Who that say they're gonna beat them their Saints. Let me say this to all my new listeners. If you want to know about my accent now, I am from the dirty South. My family were originated from the great state of Louisiana. All depends on where you are. Now I do have a little southern twang, you know, every once in a while. And I have to slow down sometimes so that people can understand me, unless you part of the country Kenny nation. But those who live in the boot, they know how we get down because we like to talk fast. Now in the great state of Arkansas, where we sing our words, but it's all good. Jay, I watched your team today because I knew you were gonna call. Tell me what you like and what you didn't like.
Well, I mean, car he looked good, you know. It was smooth. I do miss Andy. You know, it was all right. Got to see Kamara, Michael Thomas. Gonna see how long. Yeah. So yeah. So I like that. The offense looked good. Defense, you know, defense was defense, of course. Saw Drew Brees in the booth.
Oh yeah.
But you know, you all right. The end scared me a little bit.
How's that?
That field goal.
Oh yeah.
It was like it was a field goal in order to win the game. Like, ooh.
You know, Jay, I did.
I know.
Go ahead.
Down, but it was like, woo, no.
Yeah, I stopped by because I knew you was gonna call, so I said, you know what, I am gonna watch. And I tell people, when it comes to the preseason, Jay, this is just me. This is what I think. I'm only me. I always tell people when I watch preseason games, I pay attention to what teams who have good teams, they play not to get anybody hurt. Because one thing people need to understand about preseason, the very first game, players you don't get anything. They don't give you you don't get a playbook. You don't get any. They just show you how to line up, and they just want to see, can you line up where you're supposed to be? Can you be where you're supposed to be? Can you cover? Can you stop the run? Because they're just going to play the basic offense against the basic defense. Nobody's going to show you anything. That's the very first preseason game because you're playing a lot of youngsters. You're trying to get some of the offensive linemen. You're trying to get some people in shape. It's more of a conditioning. You want to see who came to training camp in condition, in game-ready condition, or do we have to get you ready to play? So when I think of preseason, that's what I'm thinking of, Jay.
Right. Televised.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
televised.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they don't give you don't, and you'll see a lot more if you from the first preseason game to the second, because now players get a playbook. He's starting to kind of scout the next team you're going to play. And they still kind of play basic defense because nobody's going to show too much. But what I normally notice that, like for example, the Saints, you guys got a new quarterback, so you know that they got to start really, really, really getting some things together. You got to get because y'all got a brand new car, so you got to get your new car. Everybody's got to get on the same page with my man Derek Carr, and especially that getting that connection between the wide receiver and the quarterback because I can't wait to see the connection between him and Michael Thomas. That's gonna be a
Yeah,
good
that's
yeah.
yeah.
Now, I do know you guys are going to be without a Camara for a couple of games because he's going to be serving a suspension for laying hands. And you know why I say, Jay, if you're not a preacher, if you're not preaching the gospel, you ain't got no business laying hands.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna sting a little bit, but I think we'll be alright. I mean, I saw some rookies out there. They looked alright, you know. So I think we'll be okay. We'll be alright, but we will miss him though. But I think we'll be alright.
But you know what I was mostly impressed about the Saints, even like I said, I don't really get too much into it, but I did like the fact that their offense was very, very fluent. They went straight down the field and they scored a touchdown. They didn't waste any time, and that was when I had my little inside joke. I said, "Man, they better take those players and put them back in a Bobby they Bobby doll box before anybody get hurt, and don't bring those guys back out
Really?
again."
Come on, man.
And don't bring those guys back out again until it's time for the first real game.
Put them in doll boxes for real.
They got to put them back in their dollhouse because you don't want to get anybody hurt. But hey, did you notice my man Jameis?
Yeah, he look better.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah,
Jameis looked pretty good. He wasn't under any pressure. There was no pressure on Jameis to make any plays. I guess you say he didn't throw the interception. But I always remember, this is what I tell myself. Yeah, I'm glad football's back, preseason and all. And like I said, I really only watch like a quarter. Because a quarter is going to tell me everything I need to see. Most teams are not going to play the veteran starters. Just like the Saints, they didn't. They actually did play some veterans, but they had to get some things together. So I know they wanted to see how the guys were going to operate on the live fire, but most teams don't. So I usually watch like
right,
one quarter, and then everything else is like the youngsters and which is all good.
right.
So Jay, you mentioned about Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle.
Yeah,
Now let me ask you. Now you know your boy Andy is playing for. I think he's with. And I may be wrong, but I think he's with the Panthers. So now are you gonna rush out and now? Are you gonna rush out and buy a Panther jersey with a Dalton Panther
see, now
jersey?
that's a flag on the play right there. Now, that's a flag on the play. Come on now, FH. Don't be like that. That's a flag on the play. That's a 15-yard penalty right there.
All right, I won't be jumping.
Automatic first down.
I, I
What's
won't.
wrong with you?
I won't be jumping off sides tonight. So, but if you're not gonna, if you're not going to purchase a Panther jersey and you're down with your man, the Red Rifle Andy, and I will tell you,
I like him, but I ain't going that far.
but I will tell you, it is next to impossible to get a New Orleans Saints Andy Dalton jersey. You can't find one anywhere. I don't
I
know
got,
anyone. I don't know anybody that got one.
I got one. So
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What? Stop the presses. You got a Saints.
I got me a Breeze, and I got me Andy Dalton jersey.
Well, who that there say they gonna beat them their Saints? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them their Saints? So you got your jersey and you ready?
You saying?
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Hey, you guys got Jimmy Graham back. I don't know if you remember Jimmy the days when Jimmy Graham was you guys starting tight end. Jimmy Graham's a big boy. He rolled about 6'6", 250, 260. He's a little long in the tooth because I think he's like 36. But hey, you guys got Jimmy back, so that's gonna give my man Carr a target in the end zone, and that was one of the things that the Saints were worried about last year. Um, because the mark on the Saints last year was you guys just did not score enough compared to how things used to be when y'all had my man Drew Brees.
Right. Good
Yeah,
time, good time.
yeah. Oh, I bet. Yeah, good times were had by all. Yeah, you guys didn't score enough, so that meant the defense had to stay out there longer and longer and longer. And because truth be told, when you start, I don't care whose defense you got. If you leave a defense out there too long, eventually they get tired.
I'm just
Eh,
tired
Yeah, and
without giving up yards.
yep, yards and points and whatever. So I think the Saints gonna do some big things this year. I'm not gonna lie. I always tell people if I wasn't a Commander fan, if I wasn't a Commander fan, and if I had to pick another team other than my Washington Redskin football team Commanders, my number one team would be number two after my team. I would I would roll with the Saints. And then after that, because I always tell people, man, stay loyal to your team. But then after that, um, I can roll with the Chiefs. Speaking of the Chiefs, where are you? Because last time I talked to you, you were watching a show called Quarterbacks. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Did you finish that show?
Yes.
Cause
Yeah, I finished it.
what do you think about it?
It's pretty good. I'm gonna give you an inside look into how the quarterbacks, um, what they go through on the field, off the field. I especially like enjoy watching Mahomes and his family. It was very
Yeah,
entertaining.
they were, wasn't they? They were.
Right.
They and
So
you can
now when he's on the sideline, hooping and hollering, I get an understanding like what's going on. Like, okay,
especially
he's
from
really hyped. Real.
a family's perspective.
Right.
But I will tell you this: I found from watching because the quarterbacks that they featured was Kirk Cousins, our cousin Kurt, and Marcus Mariota, poor Marcus,
Yeah.
and my homie Patrick Mahomes. Now I found I walked away with a better understanding of Kirk Cousins, a better appreciation, not an understanding, but a better appreciation. Because truth be told, Kirk used to be the quarterback of my Redskins, and man, I was like down on Kirk. I wasn't feeling Kirk at all because I was on the end of too many of those long drives where Kirk would go from the 20 to the 20. He would drive our team from the 20 to the 20 and then throw a freaking interception. I was like, come on, Kirk. Kirk broke my heart so many times. So I had some animosity. And then my daughter told me, Dad, the man's not even on your team anymore. You got to let it go.
That's true. Come on, man.
And you got to let it go. My daughter told me I have to let it go. She threatened to make me go to anger management. That I needed some anger management because I was just, But the object of this show is where you get to rip, rant, kick some knowledge and all. But Jay, while I got you, let me ask you this question. Now, you're new school and I'm old school. And I don't know because I have another call that calls in. That's usually my homeboy Glenn, and he's very old school. Behind his back, I call him old Vince Lombardi Glenn because he believes in just old school. He's old school to the day he die. So, but there was this topic this week, and it came from my commanders, and where the players went to the head coach to complain about their offensive coordinator. The players said that the offensive coordinator is too hard on them. These football players. What do you think of that? It's football.
uh, Come on, man. Come on, man. How you supposed to get better if you not, come on.
All right, now you slipped into my man Iverson. Practice.
Nah, practice does make you better, but like, I don't know.
But how are you a paid professional athlete and you are the creme de la creme de la creme 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 of the creme because you're fulfilling a position that there are a lot of guys at home because their dream stops once they get a trial, get cut, or reach their potentials in Division One or Division Two or whatever. But you happen to be one of those that make a NFL football team. How do you say that it is too hard? Practice is too hard. The coach is too hard. He's yelling at me. The coach is yelling.
I mean, I can get it. I can get that. You know, but there is a line.
But do you go and tell?
No, man.
Are they soft?
I don't know about that.
Jay, are they soft? Here's a test for you, Jay.
I don't know.
Here's a test for you. What is your favorite ice cream?
Butter pecan.
Okay, because if you say vanilla, and I'm like, okay, I might have to put you in that pile with the softy pile because it's a boy. You see, like I said, Jay, I'm old school, and you new school, and I remember when I played football. And I know things have changed because the conditions are better, players are bigger, stronger, and faster. But I think the biggest difference between new school players and old school players is that we came to the football season pretty much already in shape. We were already hydrated. We drank enough water. There were no energy drinks. We wasn't staying up till, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And guess what, Jay? We played as kids in the 100-degree weather. So I think our bodies were probably already acclimated, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So practice, it was no more than this is what you did, And coaches yelled. They yelled at us. And they cuss you out. They did. They would cuss, not you directly, but they would cuss if you failed to do something. GD, you missed the,
right,
you missed the GD ball.
Right.
They would say that. Or they would tell us we getting our asses kicked by the other team. I mean, they would go off, and the coach would call you out and ask you, "Hey, Hammond, who did you block on that play? GD, who did you block on that play?" I mean, it was coach talk. I mean, that was it. And we was like, okay. And you know what? The one person we didn't want to disappoint, Jay, you know who that was? The coach. You didn't want to disappoint the coach. Just saying. So I just had to get your opinion because I know you new school and I'm old school. Are today's players soft? Or is that just part of who they are, the expectations and all that? Just saying. Jay, I'm just saying.
I guess.
On that note, Jay, thank you for calling. I love talking to you because you always bring it. And let's get a big old who dat to the Who Dat Nation.
Who that said they're going to beat them Saints?
That is Jay in Grand Prairie. Ooh, wee. All right, let me get this commercial in here. All right, discover Crown Royal blended whiskey. Patiently blended since 1939. Now, whenever I'm out crime fighting, man, I reach for a bottle of Crown Royal, and you know what I say? Man, I say crown me, baby. Drink Crown Royal responsibly. And if you're a minor, you should never be drinking Crown Royal. But if you're not a minor, please drink Crown Royal. But drink it responsibly. All right. Now, that was Jay in Grand Prairie. Wee. a little bit about the show. Now, if you're just calling in or you just listening and you just rocking and rolling on your radio station, now keep in mind, if you're on your radio station, you won't find us because we are not on your radio station. You can find us on Facebook. You can follow us live because we're live streaming the show. We're on YouTube and Instagram. And if you're listening, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's F Sports Therapy with FH Jr. 2655. Let's do that. Make me happy. Now, I also mentioned that we on when I got into today's show, I said that we were going to talk about scores. We want to talk about scores. Now, my Commanders, they took on the Browns. Did a good job. I mean, I was impressed. I wasn't blown away because I'm never blown away by any games at all because, like I was telling Jay, I view preseason as just that. I don't get too high on the highs. I don't get too low on the lows, to be honest with you. I wish they would do away with it. I would rather see them add maybe one or two more games, even if that means adding more players so you would be more prepared when guys get hurt. I would rather see that happen than see preseason because high school don't start preseason. Colleges don't have a preseason. They roll out and they get it going, and you kind of get better as you go. Now, that's me. Doesn't make them right. I hope it doesn't make me wrong. But I did follow some games. I was impressed. The Eagles got a good team. And when you have a good team, you want to make sure you get nobody hurt. Nobody's going to get hurt here. So, you didn't see any starters. They didn't roll out any starters with the Eagles. They look good. They did what they need to do. Panthers, they started a couple of young quarterbacks. They let the youngsters kind of get in and get some live fire. But the Panthers are a team. They got to get some good. But they took Alabama's quarterback. And everybody just couldn't wait to see what he was going to look like. That's my man Bryson. I really wasn't impressed, but I wasn't disappointed because I'm not a professional coach, so I don't know what the coaches are looking for. I know what I look for. If I got a young quarterback, I'm looking for, is he going to be poised in the pocket? Is he more focused on the defense that's coming in, or can he still keep his eye down the field? Can he throw a man open? Can he throw the receiver open? And is he ready to step in and play from day one? I can't say that I learned that from watching the Panthers rookie quarterback, but I can't say that he's not ready. Like I said, I am not a coach, a position coach, and I'm not the owner. I'm not writing that check. So it was what it was. The Browns, they didn't start their quarterback, and no starters played with the Browns. Now, I was impressed by the Eagles. Not the Eagles, I'm sorry. I was impressed by the Steelers. Yeah, I can't wait to talk to my homeboy Glenn because I need to ask him, is he still upset with his 100-year-old rookie? Because Kenny Pickett looks pretty good today. He did. I love that combination between Pickett and Pickett, the receiver. So hey, I think the Steelers may have found themselves a quarterback. And then let's talk about the Jets, Jets. Jets. All eyes are gonna be on the Jets this year. You go pick up Aaron Rodgers at the end of the day. Hey man, everybody's gonna be watching you. But the cool thing about it, by picking up Rodgers, that gives my man Wilson some time to kind of take the pressure off of him. He'll get a little bit more time to kind of work, and he actually looked a whole lot better. So that was a good thing, So that was cool. I like that. He did look good. 49ers, I don't know what you guys are doing. I don't think you guys know what you were doing. You got Trey Lance. I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm not a position coach, but I do know. Hey, they going to play my man Brock Purdy because he looked pretty good when they put him in there last year. But you got a first round draft pick in Trey Lance. He's bigger, stronger, probably got a bigger arm. Guy lost his position, he got injured. Now he looked a little rusty because he came in, boy, he was stinking up the plays. But guy had been off preseason. You don't know that. Like I said, preseason, nobody's gonna run anything but basic, whatever. He did get together on the second, maybe third drive. So I don't know what's gonna happen there, but they have what I call a good bad situation because you got an unknown commodity in Brock Purdy because he's pretty good, and you got a first round draft pick, and you got to figure out what you're gonna do with that first round draft pick. I would let him play. I'd get him all polished up, and I'd save him for trade bait. At the end of the day, because the guy has had a lot of live. He hasn't had a lot of game experience, but you know, so that's what I would do. That's what me. If I was making the decision, that's kind of how I would play that. But like I said, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is. Sports Tip with F.A. Jr.
What's up? What's up, my man? It's the Ravens extraordinaire, B. Coop, man. What's up?
What's up? What's up, B. Coop from Iagna University? My brethren.
Man, we celebrating our 24th straight preseason win. I know it may not mean much to other people, but come on, it's the small victories, man.
And see, now you're the guy I need to talk to because, look, what I tell people, how I feel about preseason is just me. I tell people I could give a fat rat's butt about preseason, but that's just me. Because to me, preseason, the good teams are trying to make sure nobody gets hurt. The teams who really need to get something together, they need to use that time to work on some things, and I'm cool with that. But talk to me about your Ravens because I wanted to hear from you how you felt about preseason. You got a new offensive coordinator, and you guys are supposed to be trying to open things up, and my man J.K. Dobbins, he might want to come on in.
All right.
He might want to come in the camp.
I'm gonna get. Yeah. I'm gonna get to J.K. Dobbins last because that still grinds my gears. But let's go with the new offensive coordinator. I think, especially with him coming from Georgia's ability to use their dynamic weapons with a quarterback like Stetson Bennett, who isn't an advanced passer.
No.
Right? Stetson Bennett had some legs on him, but the main thing was Stetson Bennett was a mature, poised quarterback who had all-star talent around him. Now, one thing I do respect about the Georgia offensive coordinator that we have now, he can give you multiple looks, and he can utilize his weapons, right? Now, as far as receivers, we don't have the biggest receivers. But one thing we do have is we have receivers that can make something happen in open space. Now, what this causes you to do is, along with Mark Andrews, you can't just stack the box. You have to switch up your coverages, which leaves different holes. And you know what happens when Lamar Jackson sees an out. You're just going to see the back of his jersey.
Yeah, because I'm feeling that young receiver you guys got. I think his name Flowers.
Zay Flowers.
Yeah, I'm feeling
Flowers.
him, man.
And as long as Bateman can come back and be productive, I don't think we have to put a lot of pressure on Odell because Odell legit had to be the number 2 for the Rams, right?
Right.
If we can just get 3 to 4 key first downs out of Odell and maybe a post route that nobody expects, that's all we need. And if you combine that with a run game, we have Justice Hill, we have Gus Edwards, we just signed Melvin Gordon. Now, moving on to J.K. Dobbins, like I talked about the last time I was on here, he just doesn't have any leverage in the negotiation.
None.
Now, if he would have played all 17 games this year and started all 17 games and made the Pro Bowl, now he has a bit of leverage, right?
Right.
But he doesn't have that much leverage, and our offense is proven to be productive with or without him, right? So I don't know how that situation is going to unfold, but I think us as an organization, we're pretty good at where we are. This is not like a Dalvin Cook or a Saquon Barkley situation where like those two guys carried that team through the long part of them being there.
True.
You know, they, what are we doing given it's just when you compare the stats, it's just he doesn't have the leverage.
None.
But with that said, I think we have a great chance of winning the the AFC North. I think offensively we can start going toe to toe with the Bengals, and I think with Joe Burrow's calf injury, even though they say he's going to be cool, that type of thing doesn't get better as the season goes on.
No.
I think the Browns are still going to be the Browns. Deshaun Watson is going to have a hell of a season, but the Browns are always the Browns.
The Browns.
That team goes as far as Nick Chubb goes, right? And
True.
I think with the Steelers, they're still in the rebuilding stage. I mean, is Kenny Pickett that guy? But from what I see with the Ravens, hey, Lamar back, baby. You know what it is now.
Now, let me transition you over into a subject I want to ask you. Because earlier today, I did a promo. And it was based on what was going on last week with my Commanders. And if you could see me right now, you would know that I went old school. I'm talking about old school. I got an old school Redskin jersey on. I got an old school Redskin hat that you can't even find anymore. Because I wanted to ask.
You got that old school. You got that old school Darryl Green.
Man, I went old school. But my question is, because I know you new school, so I wanted to ask you this question. Because today's players are bigger, faster, and they're stronger. But are they softer? Because
they are.
When I played, man, you would never go and tell the head coach that the position coach is too hard on you. Talk to me, brother.
Like we covered, man. That's just soft as hell. I'm gonna be honest. You and especially coming from the Commanders where y'all ain't done nothing.
Right.
When was the last time you done anything? And for you expect Eric Bieniemy, he has to come in. Hey, we got to thin the herd.
Yes.
And for players to say he's too hard of a coach,
I'm too hard. Too hard. He too hard.
I just don't get it. You a professional athlete in the hardest sport. If you can't do a job, we can find somebody who can. I just don't get he's too hard on us. What you mean he too hard? That man just got done winning another Super Bowl. He'd have been to 3 AFC championships and won 2 Super Bowls. And his quarterback is 2-time MVP. And you sitting here and telling me what he telling you ain't right?
He too hard.
Nah, player. He too hard. What the hell? We just supposed to walk around nice, and y'all supposed to be cool with winning 7-8 games a year. Is that what you want? Because if that's what you want, that if y'all are content with doing that, that can happen.
But the reason
I just if for y'all to be grown men and go behind that man back and talk to the press and talk to Riverboat Ron about it, the man is right there.
Right
if you
there.
got a problem with that man, speak up to him. And we live in an era where anytime you have a problem with somebody or you're feeling some type of way, you want to go to the media first. You want to go around the problem because you think that makes you tough. What makes you a grown man is you going into Eric Bieniemy's office and you telling him, hey, man, what you did, this is how I felt. You see what I'm saying?
I got
we
you.
live in an era where people, they want to get on social media and complain and say this and say that. No. And this don't have to do with being a man or woman or anything. This is about being a person of character. And it's reflecting on your team. And I like it because Eric Bieniemy is thinning the herd. We finding out the weak links on the Commanders now.
Man.
So
But see, I had to.
And the thing, that's cold, man. I'm 28 years old, and me being brought up in Texas high school football, man, I had coaches cuss me out and everything all the time. But I didn't. Come on now, that's a
because
part of the game.
because that's what I wanted to ask you because see, I grew up in the era where a coach could cuss you out, coach could grab you by your face mask and drag you, not drag you from the ground, but he gonna pull your face mask and pull you into him. That if you did something stupid. Um, Now, like I said, I was talking to Jay, and I told her, I said, look, I understand some of the things now, but you'll never get me to go along with the fact that I could go and tell on my coach. But I'm just saying, back in when I played football, and this was in the '80s and stuff. Of course, they didn't give you any water with no water breaks, and you just had the little yellow salt tablets that you could take.
And that's why y'all came from the CTE era, man. Hey,
Yes. Half of us probably can't remember the stuff because we got CTE.
exactly. Half of y'all can't remember your senior year of high school, man. Y'all like adding in your head stuff.
But I was telling her, I said, but I remember before football season started, we reported to football season in shape because you had a summer workout program because you didn't really know you wasn't comfortable enough to know that you were gonna actually make the team. So you came, you had the summer program and coach told you, in other words, like I'm finding that sometimes guys got to get you in shape first before we can start practicing. Never heard of that, but I
Yeah,
mean, so like, what the hell, man?
it's different, man. And I even remember when I was in high school. Like I graduated in 2013, and
Mm-hmm.
man, we had a whole. So we would have the season. Then afterwards, we'd have a whole off season program. Then we would start spring ball. Then we would have summer workouts at 6 a.m. And then beginning of August, 1st of August, boom, we right back in training camp and pads, and that was the thing. 110-degree heat, you name it. And I think that character and seeing the different weaknesses in your players was built in that off-season training program. Because that's when you started to thin the herd. That's when coach be like, man, this might not be for you. You might have to go to the basketball class.
and
and different ways you built character and you built that camaraderie through. So by the time you get to the football season, okay, we already know what to expect. We ready.
right. But see, the reason I was asking you, and I want to get your opinion because some of this is having a trickle down effect even to today's high school and middle school players because from talking to some of the coaches that I know, they say, hey, look, man, we got cats, man, who don't want to come to practice. And when they do want to practice, they don't want to practice for a couple of days a week, but they expect to play. Or they have all kind of excuses.
Mhm.
Hey, coach, I sprung my ankle. Coach, my feet sore. Coach, da, 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 da. Man, we would play through that.
But that's how you get tougher, man, and that's how when the game time comes, see, a lot of cats when that first game of the season comes, that's when they first start going full speed and taking hits. And
Right,
like remember we said, that's when you get hurt,
right.
man. In training camp, especially playing defensive line, I got to get that first hit. I got to see what it feels like. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I gotta get my bell rung real quick. So I'm like, okay, I'm good. Let's go. You know, and it's too much prima donna and social media, and you see guys getting offers from 7-on-7 in camps, and then guys halfway playing, and I just don't get it.
I don't, man.
I, I, I don't I don't I don't get
Brandon, I had to ask you, brother, because I like, well, maybe I'm out of date, man. Maybe I'm just, I could,
it. Yeah, back in the day, man, it's like okay, you got you got your test scores, you got your transcript, your high school and you got your game film. You send it out.
right,
Coaches get word of. They come watch your practice. They want to see how you practice, see how you interact with the team, see how hard you go. Okay, cool. Then they come to a game. They want to see you play all 4 quarters. They want to see how you do against good competition.
right.
Then after this, then they say, okay, well, this is a guy we believe we want in our program. So that's when they offer you. You know what I mean? I don't
I got you.
I don't Yeah, and it trickling down, like, guys just want to look cute on social media. People just want to post highlight clips. Dude, football's an ugly game.
I know.
It's,
What?
it's nasty.
Hey, brother, I appreciate you. Hey, get a plug in for your club or for your
Hey
podcast.
man, this yes sir. This is your boy Brandon Cooper, the Ravens extraordinaire, 24-0 in preseason games. Also, I just wanted to let all Washington Commander fans know, it's a lot of talks between us and y'all for Chase Young. So anytime you want to let him go,
Chase ain't going
just,
nowhere,
just let
man.
us know.
Chase ain't going nowhere.
Hey, uh, but anyway, man, hey, check my boys out. D1 Ignat University podcast is D1IGNANT University podcast. Check us out weekly. Also, man, pray for the Commanders. It's a lot of soft cats over there too. And also, man, my Baltimore Ravens, we coming, we making a scene, and we're gonna chop it up every week on this thing because this football season is gonna get crazy.
All right, brother. Appreciate you calling.
Yes, sir. You as well, man. And let Chase Young go. He want to be in a Ravens uniform, baby. All right.
Yeah. Sports therapy with F.A. Jr.
What's up going on, my boy?
Oh, my homeboy Glenn, a.k.a. Vince Lombardi Glenn. Because,
There you go.
man,
There you go. I want to come on the show rent, but I'm going to wait for a minute.
man, let me tell you something, brother. First of all, preseason is back. You still, hey, man, look, y'all got a quarterback, man. You can stop ranting and raving because you guys got a quarterback. Kenny Pickett looked pretty good, man. Hey, y'all got a quarterback, man. Shower that brother with some love.
I try to tell you this.
And I like that. Huh?
No, I just want to congratulate them Dallas Cowboys because they ain't going to do a damn thing again this year.
Why you gotta be that way, man?
Tell them Cowboy fans, I just don't get too hyped this year.
You know what? The Cowboy fans, I think they're gonna do a little something. But you know what I tell people now? I always say, to me, I think that window for the Cowboys has closed. I just think I think they had 3 years to get it done. They didn't get it done, and because the window doesn't stay open forever. And nobody's going to give you a Super Bowl. You have to kick the door in and take it. I think they had 3 years, and now I just don't see it. I can see them being competitive, probably winning maybe 9 games, but I just don't see it. Like I said, just like with the Eagles. Hey, they better get it done between this year and possibly next year. If they don't, that they 3-year window will be done. I think the Steelers are on the rise. The Commanders, if we can kind of if we can get rid of some of our soft players, our vanilla ice cream players, which we're going to talk about that. If we can get them together.
Yeah, so that's what I want to talk to you about.
And so, it's just like, I don't think the Chiefs are going to do anything this year. I think they're going to be competitive, but, hey, they don't want a Super Bowl. You don't stay great forever at all.
No.
So, now, let me ask you this, man. I did a promo, and I asked a question. First of all, I did say, hey, football's back. I really don't get into the preseason. More likely, I don't even watch but a quarter of there because I just think the teams that look good are the teams that really need to work on something. The teams that don't look good, those are the teams who kind of know they're good and they ain't trying to get anybody hurt. That's how I see it. And the first game, they don't give you no playbook. That's just really designed to see, can you line up where you're supposed to line up? And it's mostly used for conditioning. That's to me, that's it. But I want to spend this time and talk about, and it started with my Redskin football team / Commanders, but at the end of the day, I need to ask this question, man, because I'm old school and you old school. Because players are bigger, stronger, and faster. But homeboy Glenn, are they soft like vanilla ice cream, bro? Because they not rock and roll ice cream, baby. They vanilla.
They soft as Sherman tissue.
Oh, that's soft.
They soft as Sherman tissue.
That's expensive tissue, but they still soft.
It's sad.
Sad.
It's soft. These players these days might be bigger, fast, and strong, but when it comes to toughness, they soft as Sherman tissue. Because ain't no way in the hell. What, hey, you never did hear no Kansas City Chiefs player complain.
No.
You know, you never heard a Kansas City Chiefs player complain about that man. And hell, I'm pretty sure you had other offensive coordinators a whole lot worse than he was probably driving players. So what makes him so worse than what makes him so worse?
Hey, can you imagine these guys playing for Buddy Ryan, Jimmy Johnson, Buddy Ryan?
Yeah, that's right. That's why don't want to go to New England and play for Belichick.
Yeah, Belichick, Bomb Phillips.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. These guys soft, man. Hey, man, football, really, to be honest with you, I know we still call it football, but really not football to me no more. It's really more like a 7-on-7 passing drill.
Man.
Because you're taking out the running backs now.
Yep.
You know, everything is affected.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. You know, you want to take the running back position. Now you got player crying, talking about, shit, what you want the regular put a band behind their waist to pull it so you can stop the tackle right there? They weak, man. They real weak, man, these days, man. You can't even hit a quarterback. I mean, it's got to the point now, shit, it really, man, I don't even watch preseason. And with all this instant replay and then roughing the passer and then, man, it takes something out of football.
But Glenn, how you gonna fix your lips to go and tell the head coach on the position coach that he too hard on us? He too hard.
That's what you call legalized snitching. That's all it is. Legalized snitching.
Well, you know, if I ask
you
know what I ask my kid, they always tell me the same thing, boy, snitches get stitches. And they found in ditches.
That's right. You know when you were staying at home, and if you run to your mama and tell your mama one of your brothers,
oh yeah,
what's the first thing your mother gonna say? What you telling?
Yeah. Then one of them gonna catch you by yourself and lay some hands on you.
That's right. But now these guys and man, make it so bad about it. These guys making big time money, man.
Yes.
And damn, man, back in the days in the 70s. In the 80s, them guys weren't making the money they making now.
No, those guys.
You never heard them complain about the coach. If they did, it didn't make no news.
Those guys played football and then had a part-time job to supplement their income. Some of them played football and did construction job when football season wasn't going on.
Right.
You know,
man, it's sad, man. I can believe they went to the coach and told that man that.
Told it.
I wonder how the Kansas City players kind of feel about that. You know, I know that's a different team. They don't have anything to do with it. But I'm like, I wonder what did some of them say.
Well, some of them did comment. Of course, you know, who's I'm trying to think of what's my boy used to play for the Eagles. He went to Kansas City, running back, Shady. Now Shady threw a little shade, but then again, Shady always throwing shade. You know, like I don't really, but
you know that's why they call him Shady.
But the majority of the cats said, "Hey, man, that's just Eric Bieniemy. He's tough. His style works. He's old school. Yeah, he gonna cuss you out, but you know what? You pay me $1 million a year. You pay me $500,000 a year. You can cuss me out all day long. Long as that check coming, I'm gonna do what you. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm talking about.
Come on now.
That's what they ain't looking at.
They buying.
That's what they look at.
They buying your feelings, dog. They paying you. We paying you not to get in your feelings.
Paying for your feelings.
Yeah, we paying for your feelings.
For your feelings and everything.
Hey, is it like, hey man, how much would you how much would you sell your feelings for? You too hard on us.
That's right, man. You think about it, man. You look at, I go back when they did that. You go back and look at guys like Nolan Richardson, they call it that Bobby Knight, and the older coaches like you said. But none of these guys play for them guys. They too soft, man.
Eddie Sutton.
Yeah, Eddie Sutton. Man, all them guys, man, them guys were tough-minded coaches, But hey, look how many guys they put in the league though. Look how you look at most of them guys. They coach all them guys come out to be successful men.
Hey man, I run up on kids now, man, real good players, and you see them playing at the wire, playing somewhere. You say, hey man, how come you ain't playing no ball? Oh man, I can't get along with the coach. What do you mean you can't get along with the coach? It ain't for you to get along with the coach. It's for the coach to get along with you. Hey, I could get along with the coach. Oh, I don't like the coach.
That's right. You know, and it's sad, man. It's really ruining. It's ruining sports, man. How you gonna sit there and complain, man? I know you remember when we were playing basketball practice. Our basketball coach used to give us a lick, and we missed a free throw and layup.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
Yeah, you missed a free throw and layup. You got to run by him and get a lick. Nobody run to their house. Nobody run home and tell their mama or stuff like that. There.
I tell you what. After practice, if you were doing something, man, if coach didn't like the way you practice, man, we had this Oklahoma drill. See, they can't even do the Oklahoma drill anymore, where they just lay the ball down and the coach just calls some number. You don't know who finna come in and lay a lick on you. 52, and you just in that circle. Everybody in the circle, man, and he just calling numbers, bro. They just come and light you up. Boom, boom, boom.
Man.
You can't do that anymore. We hurting players. Can't do the Oklahoma drill anymore. And I remember, man, coach used to be on the 50-yard line. If you don't got in trouble, you got in trouble in the classroom. Coach would make you put on your full uniform, man. He's sitting on the 50 in a chair, and you in your full uniform. You had to start from one end zone to the other and just roll past him 100 yards, and then roll back.
Like roll back,
yeah.
The kids so soft now, man.
Oh man.
Everything plays a role to it, though.
Hey,
everything plays a role to it.
Hey, you remember in basketball, man, we had to do dying cockroaches. You know, you had to have your arms and feet.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. The dying, like we call it, what's that, dying cockroach?
Yeah, he called dying cockroach, boy, because you know, you got your arms about 6 inches and your feet 6 inches, and you just stand there to go blow the whistle. I'm like, oh man, and he and you were getting punished for something somebody else did. They punished the whole team.
That's right.
Now
for the whole team.
Now, Joe,
you got players crying to the coach, telling the coach, man, too hard on him.
Well, I think now I love my mothers. I love the fact that you know, they really involved. But I think sometimes these moms are making some of our boys a little bit too soft, because there's some of them, when the kid come home and tell them, hey, this is that, now next thing you know, mom out there want to talk to the coach, want to call the athletic director, want to call the superintendent. You know what I'm saying? Man, it's football.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad, man. It's not no toughness.
Now you got you got some moms that are tough, because I heard one player say, man, he didn't want to play football. He said his mama told him they were going shopping. He said she drove him to the football field, man, and told him to get out and then go over there and talk to one of them coaches. He said he went over there, his mama drove off. He said mama drove off. Laughing about that. But he's in the pros today. Yeah, man. He said, mom, yeah. Now that's kind of mom, you know, she's like, okay, you need this. This is what you need. Mom recognized, you know what? I can't. Yeah. She said, man, mom said, hey, go out there and talk to them coaches about football. He said he went out there to around. Mama drove off. You need that.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, man, it's crazy, man.
You need that,
but
bro.
Yeah, man, I really had been looking at. I hadn't looked at no preseason games, but I be reading up on them. You know, it's still they still kind of get it together. They still got a long way to go, but if football gonna be good this year, I got a feeling it's gonna be good.
Yeah. Well, homeboy Glenn, the time is here, but hey, I'm gonna talk to you offline, so stay on. But we finna wrap this bad boy up. Let's keep this conversation going offline. All right, it is time to bring this show to an end. For all the country Kennedys down in the great state of Arkansas, to all those on the yard who always tell to stay golden, To all those who listen to my show in the great metro, the great metro. Ooh, it's been a long day. I want to thank you all for listening to my show and making it what it is. And if you are new and you want to know what you're listening to, Sports Therapy with F.H. Jr. And we will see you next week and every Sunday starting at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. We will see you next week.